Hello, one and all, and welcome to another exciting adventure on Spirit Sessions of View of the Light, where I hopefully won't start a fire with all that. The smudge, I'll enjoy the smudge and enjoy this special and sacred time we have together. We'll be learning about healing through connection. But first, I want to introduce my amazing co host, Rhonda, who is a Reiki master and our technical wizard here at Spirit Sessions.
We're
And then
awesome.
we have Marla Torres, who spreads love and shamanism and drumming and healing of allergies, just anything. Marla's the one to go to. And we'd like you to please go, if you're on YouTube or anywhere, just share this out. It's a fun thing to do and subscribe, and we appreciate that. Um, Before we start, we always like to start with the card. And so today, Marla Torres is going to share that card with us for the week. I'm used to Rhonda doing it. Marla, what's your card and who's the deck? Who?
So I'm using Kim's deck, Kim
Oh,
Vandersand.
yay!
That's
Oh,
just called to me. I love this deck a lot. The Flower of Love, and this is the back of the card. It's card number 29. Activate
oh.
your central core, your life force energy, and let it guide you toward your true purpose. Release all that no longer serves you, align with your higher self, and embrace the light that is within you. Take a deep breath and feel the energy coursing through you, unleashing your inner fire and awakening the brilliance of your being. Let go of all fears and doubts and trust in the resilience of your spirit. Embrace the cycle of life, the ebb and flow of death and rebirth, and surrender to the divine flow of the universe. Dance, breathe, and allow your inner inspiration to lead you toward your highest calling. Unleash your full potential and become the unstoppable force that you were always meant to be.
Woohoo.
Yay.
I love it. Got chills, actually.
A beautiful card, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ah,
super.
yes.
Thank you, Marla. We
Feels
have
so
an amazing
fitting.
guest today that we've been having fun talking to this morning. Why this guest and why now? No, no. Just share with us about your guest today.
So, Giancarlo, I met him last year. We're part of an amazing living workshop, and he has such a unique story to share, and he's a powerful manifester, and I'm just like in awe of that capability that he has. I mean, we all have it, right? But he's really tapped into it, and he just has a really amazing story. And I thought that he would be awesome to have on here. Let me get to his little bio here. So Giancarlo Tavarez was born and raised in Santiago, Dominican Republic. He is a global water ambassador, embodiment coach, multidimensional entrepreneur, ordained minister, performer, and artist. He has spoken and performed in the most important stages in Los Angeles, California, for thousands of people with the Gay Men's Chorus of Los Angeles. He lives in California with his partner Devon, their four adopted children Olivia, Damon, Tina, and Noah, along with 6 dogs and 3 kitties. And he's
Woohoo.
manifesting horses soon. So he's such an inspiration, and I thought he would be perfect to have on our show today just to speak to all the healing he has done through connection. So welcome, Giancarlo.
Thank you so much. That's so beautiful of you. And thank you, Rhonda, Teresa, for having me today. And I'm so excited to be here and so grateful.
Yay.
That's
Do you want to share
awesome.
with us a little bit about your story of how you landed in the US and then ended up in California and your transformation that you experienced through all of that part of your journey?
How did I landed here? Let me see. So it was actually not a pretty picture. I actually was running away in a way from the chaos that I was experiencing in Santiago in Dominican Republic with my family. Because honestly, in like many families around the world, it was a pretty traumatic situation. So my soul could not take it any longer, and I was like, I'm getting the out of here.
Yeah, I get it.
So I started feeling where to, and originally I felt that I was gonna go to Spain, and that's not what was in my cards. Then I told my family, and my mother's uncle was like, "What are you gonna do in Spain? You don't know anybody there. Why don't you come here to Florida?" And then, in a way, I allow him to convince me because I didn't want to be alone. I just didn't want to be in the hell that I was living with my family, with my parents. So when I was 19, there was a catalyst situation. Um, since I was a little kid, to be honest, my father used to like threaten me. When he would feel threatened, he would threaten me saying, "Do you want to fight?" And like he would scream it at me, and I would go into freeze, and I would start just like having a panic attack. And when I was 19, I used to sing all the time, and my grandma brought me this karaoke system from New York. My family travels a lot to New York, and we have family members there. And I was having allergies, Marla, in my throat because the rocks in the house needed to be changed. And my father, I don't drink. My father left this whiskey in the fridge, and I was like, I want to sing, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes, and I don't care. So I started drinking the whiskey, and I didn't know that I was already like kind of drunk. And it doesn't take much for me to be drunk. To be honest, I can get drunk with one beer. Anyways, he came home. I was singing my heart out. That's so cool. Look at that. And he started screaming at me, and he threatened me, and I couldn't take it anymore. We started fighting, and like we broke everything in the house. And then like I moved out the same night. And then in that moment, I knew that I didn't want to leave. When I was 15, I tried to move to New York, and I was like, I'm not coming back to Dominican Republic. Put me in a school here. And my grandma was like, no, and everybody was like, no, and I was like, yes, I don't want to go back. Anyways, when I was 21, I had a computer. I sold it. I made a deal with my mother. She bought me a plane ticket, and it's been 17 years and I have never never been back.
Wow.
Wow.
And I was pretty lost. I was not really embodied and grounded the ways that I am now, and I know that there's so much more to be embodied. And it just felt like I was navigating the void in the journey to like deeper states of my awakening. Because also when I look back in my life, it's like parts of me were never asleep.
Yes.
I could see energies, I could see dead people. I would know when there was gonna be an accident, or like I just always I was aware that there was more than just like what we could see with our physical eyes. And in fact, one of my favorite things was to pray with my mother, and I would ask her, "Mom, can we pray? Can we pray?" And that was like 7.
Wow.
So we would pray many times a day because I would ask her. So I moved here. I came to Wilton Manors, Florida, with my uncle and my aunts and my cousins, and then to realize that it was like a repeated story of what was happening in Dominican Republic.
Oh,
My uncle used to hate that I would sing Christina Aguilera songs super loud, and I would just trigger him a lot. So it was not a fun experience. After like a month, I moved out and I just started doing my own thing and finding my way. Then, like 2 years later, something like that, I ended up in a church in Miami I moved from Wilton Manors, that is also very close to Fort Lauderdale. I don't know if you guys are aware. I moved to Miami and I joined this mega church, this ministry, El Rey Jesus, King Jesus Ministry. And I was already like in my spiritual evolution, I was already a Christian when I was 17 in Dominican Republic. So I would go to churches and I was singing in churches and like I would just go out and pray for people and tell everybody about Jesus and doing healings and all kinds of stuff. Um, it went to a whole new level though when I came to Miami in that ministry. They started training me for miracles and healings and like the stuff that you hear in the Bible. Like they were training us for that, and like we were doing it.
Wow.
We were walking in the streets of Miami, and we were start healing people, and we were not shy about it.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I'm actually pretty grateful for part of my spiritual journey in my life because I love that boldness. I love that it's like a holy aggression that they have to help people and for their faith, for what they believe. And I've always had that fire for what I believe, and I still do. So that just fed that fire even more. And I ended up, there was a pastor called Benny Hinn,
Oh, yeah.
and he was having a healing crusade in Miami. And I said, I want to sing there. So even though I didn't have money, I didn't have a car, nothing, I found a way. I manifested it, and I ended up in the American Airlines Arena in front of 15,000 people. And it was one of the most beautiful experiences of my life.
Oh, wow.
From that moment on, I got a taste for arenas.
That would be scary, but holy cow, how neat.
That was not scary. That was so, so cool. And like they call it the anointing. It's like that really thick, which is frequency, is energy. It
Mhm.
was a really thick like atmosphere that you could
Ooh,
bite it, and
yeah.
it just felt so delicious, honestly.
Wow.
Um, when I got out of the crusade, I didn't have a ride back, and I don't know about you guys, but sometimes the ways that I talk to life, to my higher self, to God, the Holy Spirit, whatever we want to call it, I sat outside of the arena and I was like, okay, I did your mission. Now you take me home. And out of the blue, these two Brazilian guys came to me, and I was like, thank you. I knew in that moment that they were going to take me home, and they did.
Ooh.
And we started connecting, and it was just a beautiful experience. Um, let's see what else. Do you have any questions or?
I'm enjoying the story myself.
I know. I love. I think it's just so awesome, like what you've come through and like come to the other side. So, I mean, I would love for you to share too, like how you got from Miami to California and being part of the gay men's choir there, that whole experience, how you manifested that, and then we can kind of maybe go into a little bit how you do the activations. And I know I think you have an activation to share with our audience too a little bit later on.
Sweet.
Um, yeah, just share a little bit more of that.
So, not too long after that, I ended up actually leaving the church, leaving that ministry, and the way that I was approaching my spirituality through Christianity didn't resonate it anymore. And as I started like just connecting more with my body, I was like, huh, even though there are aspects of this, like the healings, and I love the experience of being in community like that, like you were saying, Rhonda, before going live. And one of my favorite parts after the services, I would just go around and I would start hugging
Yeah.
so many
Yeah.
freaking people. I would take like 2 hours just, and I was so high on on hugs,
Yeah.
in endorphins, and all those beautiful hormones. What is that hormone touch called?
Oxytocin?
Oxytocin. Yes.
Oxytocin.
When
Oxytocin.
we
Yeah.
yes, when we
Yes.
touch or when we hug, even when we connect, and for me as an extrasensory, when I see people connecting to me, like I can see their energy fields blending, and even it's like to me in my perception, our energy fields are like making love because
Okay.
they start blending,
Right.
and you see the energies dancing and moving like a stream of consciousness, like the ocean.
Mm.
Yeah.
So many years passed, and I was continuing my spirituality. I actually started volunteering in conscious festivals, and I became a core volunteer for even a big festival in Florida called Zen Awakening. And we were building the attractions and just praying and meditating every day for the people that were going to go there. And it was just such a beautiful I was barefoot for like a whole month walking in nature in that space.
Nice.
For that festival, there were more than like 5,000 people that came from all over the world. Another one in New Mexico, it was called Unify. And in that one, I was a volunteer in the kitchen, cooking really delicious vegan foods. And
Oh,
we would just like infuse the food with love. And everybody was hugging each other and loving each other as we were cooking. And it was such a beautiful experience. Another one in North Carolina, that one was called 3 Days of Light. I was also in the kitchen. And in one moment, that one of the artists is called The Human Experience. I don't know if you guys have heard it. I was talking with my friend Brooke, and I was like, Brooke, what if, what if out of the blue, the human experience would just call me to go on stage? In that same second, guys, he was like, Giancarlo, come on stage. And I freaking froze. And I was like, what the freak is going on? And Brooke got me by my hand and she took me to stage and she was like, it is really happening. I was like, huh? It was just so crazy.
wow.
That was like an instant. I have always had like this ability, real. I know we all have that ability, and I do believe with all my heart to create our realities. And at the same time, for some reason, like I have that ability to create like whatever I want in ways. When I was 17 in Dominican Republic, and I wanted food from the bakery, and I didn't have money, or my mother was taking a nap because many times she was very depressed, to be honest. I would start singing. I would ask God, Jesus, like, how can I get this? I want money and I want food to watch
Oh,
my cartoons. So I would hear, start singing and dancing and hold that intention. So I would start singing to Jesus and dancing. And suddenly my uncle Galileo, that was my mother's brother, would knock on the door and he would be like, Giancarlo. He had a really graspy deep voice. Giancarlo, is your mother here? And I was like, no, she's taking a nap. Okay, tell her that I came over when she wakes up. And I was like, cool, I will. And take care. And then he would leave. And I was like, what? It didn't happen. He would come back, knock on the door, and be like, okay, by the way, here's 20 pesos. Go get you something. And I was like,
oh,
so I learned that when I would start singing and dancing and raise my energy, and connected with my intention, I could get
Mm.
whatever I want. Ooh, something that is going to resonate with you guys that I'm being reminded of. I also lived in New York. In 2013, I was in my apartment in my bedroom. And back then, I used to follow a lot Doreen Virtue,
oh
the
yes.
Yep.
angel lady.
Yep. Yep.
And I wanted her angel course, and I didn't have the money. So I was like, how do I get that course? And I heard again, go sing and dance. So I started singing and dancing. And then at one point, the energy was so strong. And I said, okay, what action step can I take now? And what
Mm.
I heard was send them an email. So right away, I sent them the freaking email. And what is this guy? The guy, what is the name of that guy that he used to create the decks with?
Oh, Radley Valentine,
Yeah.
Yes, that one. He
such a
answered
sweet
back.
man.
Yes, he answered back and he was like, oh my gosh, Doreen and I are so touched. We are going to give you the course for free, and I'm
Oh,
going to give you mentorship for the next weeks for free. So they
Wow.
Oh,
gave me the course.
wow,
amazing.
I know it's so crazy. They
wow.
gave me the course. He said that Doreen read the email too, and just just so crazy. I took the course. I think I didn't even finish it, to be honest. And then for the next weeks, I was like emailing with that guy Valentine,
Bradley.
with
Yeah.
Valentine, because I was having relationship problems with my boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend in New York. Anyways, um,
I met
everything's
him
so,
once. He's such a sweet man.
oh,
He is
sweet,
sweet,
sweet.
just lovely, talented.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. He feels like a very lovely person. He showed me that he was a lovely person, so I'm very grateful for that.
that's
Um,
awesome.
okay,
New
so
York.
from Florida to New York, then from New York back to Florida, and at one point that I was with his friends, and I started feeling like I didn't really belong there anymore, and in fact, I was getting very depressed. I heard, okay, you're moving to California, and I was like, what are you talking about? I didn't know anybody here. I didn't have any money, and I was in such resistance to it. Oh, by the way, when that happened, there was a hurricane in Florida, and I ended up in a shelter. Me and thousands of people. So I started telling everybody in the homeless shelter about spirituality. I already had like a group of disciples, and we would meditate.
Were you singing? Because you would have had to sing. That would have been great.
Yeah, I was singing everything. I was doing everything. And I was being guided a lot during those days to sit down on the floor and just sun gaze, to really look at the sun. I had a really powerful experience in New Mexico about that, talking about ETs. Um, so after 7 months of resisting moving over here, I was like, okay, I'm gonna freaking do it. So you leave me alone. That's the way that I talk sometimes to the universe. So I didn't have money. So I was like, what do I do? My guidance was go to a gas station and start asking truckers for a ride. So I was like, I'm gonna go to the freaking gas station then. So I asked my friend Amy to give me a ride. She took me to the gas station, and all night long I was asking truckers, "Hey, I'm going to California." And when I was in Florida, I astral traveled to a city here called Culver City, and I ended up inside of a place that I had no idea that existed called Agape Church with Michael W. Beckwith and all those people.
Oh, amazing.
Suddenly I was there. He was talking there, his wife, everybody, and I was like, huh, what is this? Is this even real? Then I Googled it, and I saw that it was actually a real place. Many years later, when I moved here, I ended up there, and everything that I saw like happened exactly. That was so crazy.
Nice.
So
So
that's
cool.
crazy.
Um, so I was asking truckers all night long. Everybody was like, "Excuse you," and yeah, it would hurt. And then I was like, "Oh my gosh, give me strength." And I would breathe and just process the emotions and just keep going. I'm feeling emotional. Asking the next one, will you give me a ride? No. Will you give me a ride? No. All night long, no, 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 no. So I was like, you told me that you wanted me to go to California. Like, what the freak? The next day, I posted my experience because I blog my experiences online. This lady from Colorado that I've never seen in my life before, called Shoshana, sent me a message, and she was like, I just bought your bus ticket all the way to California, to from Florida to California. Just go to this bus station at 3 p.m. and it will take you to Long Beach. And I
Wow.
was also going to a Teals One workshop, which
Oh my God. How cool.
became back then one of my mentors.
Yeah.
And Two ladies from Europe sent me money, and I was able to buy the place where we were gonna stay. Anyways, I got on the bus. It was just so crazy. She was like, "Oh, by the way, because when we met in 2013 in Puerto Rico, and we were at that retreat, you and your husband touched my life so much, and I just feel so grateful, and that's why I feel that I want to give back to you." And I
Oh,
was like, "Thank you so much, Shoshana, for the bus ticket. And I have never in my freaking life been to Puerto Rico. I am not married, and I have never in my life spoken with you." What I realized many years later, I know it's crazy. What I realized many years later is that in another timeline, another version of me that exists,
yes.
and just like all of us, there are many multiple, probably hundreds, thousands, and millions, quadrillions versions of us that exist in many different timelines. Was in Puerto Rico, was married, and met her. That's what, like, I just know that.
Mhm.
Um, then I was on my way here on the bus. There was this lady, this girl that I was talking to that lives in San Diego. I don't even remember her name. We were talking and connecting, blah, blah, blah. And then out of the blue, this guy knocks on my shoulder. And when I look to my left, he hands me $100. And I was like, he had no idea that I didn't even have a single penny. I didn't have nothing. Um, then I hear, "Give the money to her." And I was like, "Excuse me, I just got this money. What are you talking about?" And I heard, "Give the money to her." And I was like, "Ah, okay." So I gave it to her, and she started crying. And she told me how she had not eaten anything in 3 days. And
Oh.
I was just
When you
so
think you're
touched.
bad off, then you meet someone worse, right? When you
What
Mhm.
think
was that?
you don't have when you think you don't have anything, you realize that you have a basket full of blessings compared to the next person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So she was crying. I was crying. The guy comes back, goes like this again, and when I go like this, he hands me 100 more. So I just started bawling, and I was like, "What's going on?" I just could feel that momentum. It was like the whole universe was going with me, and as long as I would follow the mission and follow the assignment, everything was being provided one moment at a time, one day
Mhm.
at a time. It was crazy. Um, I came here. I was exhausted. I will never in my freaking life do that again because I took like more than 5 buses. I'm grateful and no thank you. It was a miraculous experience and I will never forget it. And I'm deeply grateful and I'm so ready for so much more. Anyways, I came here. I ended up going to the workshop, staying at the tribe house. Blake, that was part of Teal's
Oh,
ones. You know Blake?
yeah. Yeah. Well, no, I
Oh,
remember. I remember Blake from the Till Swan thing. Yeah.
oh wow. You know Teal? You know
No,
about
I
Teal?
watch her videos and everything,
Okay,
and
okay.
I remember who Blake
She
is. Yeah.
hasn't been on here yet, but we'll get work on that one.
Coming soon.
Yeah.
Coming
Um,
soon.
I had a huge like what is it called? A huge carton that I made like a vision board slash like activation, and I would walk like I just look like a crazy person. I just like channel like a whole thing, and I had like making it to California and the workshop and everything I wanted, and I would just hold on to that with my whole life because like
Mhm.
it was also hard. That
Mhm.
was like a freaking trust journey process that took me out of my freaking comfort zone like in such deep ways.
Mhm.
That was like a moment by moment by moment like trust, like just like anchoring deeper trust and safety within myself and in life itself because like I didn't have a physical place to like shelter and cover me. In fact, after I was at the workshop, like I was homeless, because Mother Earth is our home. I was homeless on the beach for a whole year. That was a whole portal. Oh my gosh. I called Teal, was at a radio show. I called her and I spoke with her live. And I was like, Teal, I'm in Los Angeles. I'm freaking homeless. I don't like this. I want to I want to course, and I don't know if that's okay. I don't like this. What the freak do I do? And as she fell into me, she said, just surrender. For a
Mm.
while, you need to let go of all responsibilities and just surrender. And I was like, you surrender, Teal. What are you talking about? So I actually started doing that every day, just being okay with not being okay. And it reminds me of the song by Jesse J. It's okay not to be okay. Sometimes it's hard to follow your heart. Seeing is deceiving, dreaming is believing. It's okay not to be okay. Hello, Netherlands. Is that live right now, somebody?
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
it's live.
Yay, that's
Yeah.
so beautiful. Hi, Kim. Anyways, I spoke with water, I spoke with the air, I spoke with butterflies, I spoke with everything. Everything is consciousness, and I hear it. When I open to it, I hear it. Like I set my intentions with my water, with my Kangen water, living water, and I call her Mama Water. What? How
From
you
Mount
doing?
Shasta. Yeah, from Mount Shasta.
Wow. I want to go to Mount Shasta so bad.
Oh, well, that's an easy one for you to manifest. I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you that.
Coming soon.
Coming soon.
So I said, okay, Mama Water, after a year, wait a second, let me go back. When I got here in December, I ended up doing this production gig with these people, and we were at this mansion in Los Angeles, and I was just doing my thing and taking freaking space. And I was singing and just channeling and just sharing my heart with people. And little did I know that these two ladies that I was singing to and channeling to, they were um, owners of a, what do I call this? It's like a performance circus called Lucent Dossier. That is like a super famous. And I could tell that as I was just being, they were like looking at each other and being like, "Who is this guy?" And I was like, "Giancarlo Tavarez, how you doing?" And then at some point, they approached me and they were like, "We want to hire you. We have a show and we want you to work with us." And then they started telling me, and I had no idea the magnitude of it. And it was called A Night on Broadway. That is a big show that they do here in Los Angeles. That it was like for 3 or 4 days. And actually, that's like the biggest gig of my career, because in those 3 or 4 days, there were more than 250,000 people.
Wow, wow,
Mhm.
And
wow.
that's why the universe was saying, you need to go to California because I have big plans for you over there. That's why, and I'm feeling like saying this to the audience. That's why when you are being called into whatever assignment you're being called, or to the dream, or to start that relationship, or to end that relationship, or you keep getting that idea or that intuition to do that business, to whatever it is that you're being guided to, even if it doesn't make sense, it's not supposed to make sense.
Mhm.
The intelligence of our hearts are way, our hearts have 10,000 more electrical magnetical connections than our brains.
Mhm.
We have been programmed in this society to first follow our brains, when in reality, well, it's more like a dance between the two. And for me, first my heart, and everything I do, first my heart, then my brain. I first say yes to the intuition, and then I find out later what's the deal.
Mhm.
I don't first like I don't first go to, oh, what's the deal, and then I say yes to the intuition. At least for me, that's not how it works. Anyways, there was at the Los Angeles Theater in front of 250,000 people. In fact, it was so crazy that when I would come outside of I was a janitor bear that would give tarot card readings to the audience, and I was also on stage performing. I was I was in charge of welcoming people when they would come inside of the Los Angeles Theater. When I would come out, securities would come out with me, and people would start going crazy, and I felt like I was a freaking rock star or something. That was super cool. I was like, what is going on? Like, universe, you're something else. Anyways, that was a beautiful experience. After that, because it was so powerful, like really shook me. I was like depressed for like 2 weeks in bed that I was not even able to function. And I know now that the capacity of my nervous system was being expanded. And because I didn't have the capacity to hold an experience like that, it would it would froze me. It would bring me down. That's the same thing that happened in 2008 when I was performing at the arena in Miami with Benny Hinn. I was like, "Excuse me," because one day I was at a supermarket and I was upset at celebrities, and I was like, "Look at this Britney Spears, look at this Christina Aguilera and J Lo, blah blah blah. They think they're superstars." And then I heard, "No, you are a superstar," and I started crying.
Mhm.
And I was like, "Oh, if I'm a superstar, then why I'm manifesting these amazing experiences, and then why my life is going like this? Why not like this?"
Yeah.
Now I understand that it's because, well, in the first place, life is not like this, or not even like this. It's like this. Second, I didn't really understand about developing the capacity of my nervous system, which I do more now. Um, what am I even gonna say now? I got lost. Um, okay, the Gay Men's Chorus of Los Angeles. I was in the ocean and I was like, okay, Mama Water, what is the right next step? I became a performer at the Santa Monica Pier and I would sing and dance on the pier and I would sleep underneath it.
Yeah.
So I just felt so connected to Mama Ocean and to nature, and even to this day I really miss that. Like I love her. I'm a Lemurian being, just like if I feel Teresa is like a Lemurian goddess too. Anyways, when I would perform on the pier, I was like, huh, what's the biggest arena in Los Angeles? And I started Googling it and I found the Kia Forum, which it was only called the Forum back then. So I was like, okay, I want to perform there. Let's go. And
In there.
then I said, Mama Water, what is the right next step to do that? Then she said, go online, find an organization that you resonate with, and go for it. I started looking, theater, this, that. It felt no, 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 until I found the Gay Men's Chorus of Los Angeles. Boof! And I was like, oh my gosh, here it is. It just hit me, my solar plexus. I reached out to them. I did an audition. I didn't think they were going to call me. They did. I became a part of it. And the Gay Men's Chorus of Los Angeles is the biggest LGBTQ organization in the world with more than 40 years. They have performed with everybody you can think of under drama. They're super famous, which I didn't know. Um, Back then, I'm going to bring us back to Florida. Back then, more than 7 years ago, it's been 7 years plus that I've been in California already. My favorite rock star used to be a Mexican rock star called Gloria Trevi. And for some freaking reason that now I know, before I moved here, I started having dreams with her every day. And I was like, huh, this is cool. And I didn't make more of it. Then many years later, I was in the main Gay Men's Chorus of Los Angeles. Suddenly, on that Monday rehearsal, John Duran, that used to be the mayor of West Hollywood, said, "By the way, guys, you guys have been invited to perform at the Forum, and you guys are going to open a song for Gloria Trevi."
Oh,
In that moment, why, everything became slow motion. And I was like, what is going on? In that moment, the version of me that already did that, it feels like came in my body. And I just knew that I freaking knew that I was going to be one of those. I auditioned against 200 other guys. I didn't freaking care because I already knew that I was going to be a part of that. Not only was I a part of that, I was the first one that opened the song
oh,
for Gloria Trevi at the Forum in front of 15,000 people. And it's just so crazy. It's just so crazy. Every time I share it, because it doesn't make any sense. And it's not supposed to make any sense.
I
I
don't know
slept
if you guys saw what happened when he was saying and that part came into him, but we had a little glitch, like an
oh, I,
energy bowl. Did you see it? Like he
Wow.
just like it was just like a tech glitch, but it was like because of the intense energy that you shared
Yep.
right there with us all. Just sorry, this is too cool.
Whew.
how
Just
exciting.
amazing.
So I slept outside of the recording studio, and Gloria Trevi was supposed to come in to rehearse with the band. And because she was doing interviews, she was not able to make it. So, what's his name? Her producer, I forgot his name right now, that was super sweet. He was like, "Hey, would you like to rehearse with the band in Gloria Trevi's place?" And I was like, so they had me rehearsing with the band in the
Wow,
recording studio in her place.
huge.
And from there, like, I started performing all over Los Angeles while being homeless, a rock star by night and a homeless guy by after we ended the performance that night at the Forum. I was like, I'm a freaking rock star. Can I manifest a freaking hotel or something? And no, that was not in the cars that night. They drove me back to the beach, which I was so exhausted and I was really upset, to be honest, and so grateful. Like, I just felt so connected with life, with Mama Ocean, with myself. I was also limping like hell because during one of the rehearsals, we were doing a choreography, and when I went to my right, something down here just, oh, I don't know what happened. For 6 months, I was limping like bad. And I had a lot of bags when I was homeless. Like, I look like a homeless guy sometimes. Sometimes. Um, it was just so beautiful. I um I did some performances at the Alex Theater, and they had me like share my story in front of like 3,000 people. We did like sold out concerts at the Walt Disney Concert Hall. We were invited to New York to perform at, I don't know, one of those important stages, and I didn't make it. We just did so many shows, and it was such a beautiful experience. And I was still homeless. So many times on our way to our dreams, to the mission, we are being called to hold a contrast.
Mhm.
We are being called to hold the void.
Mhm.
We are being called to feel the difficult and negative emotions. and even to be present with the patterns, with the pain. And as I was taking a shower before joining this, I got a message, and there's a lady called Viviana, Big Viviana. She lost her son. Viviana lost her son, and she has been experiencing a lot of pain and a lot of grief and a lot of powerlessness. And because of that, Viviana has swung the pendulum to the other side, in which, and it makes a lot of sense that you would do that to me, because losing a son is extremely painful. And you have swung the pendulum to the side in which you have closed your heart because you don't want to feel the pain. And what I was getting is that you are being called to sit with those emotions and to allow yourself to feel the pain and to feel the grief. And the beautiful thing, Viviana, Big, wherever you are, is that you don't need to do this by yourself. You can do this with support system, with family, friends, with your partner if you have one, with coaches. And it's time for you to open your heart, because you are not living. And in fact, you are kind of in a love and light bubble where you have disconnected from the rest of your body, and you are living in a everything is awesome kind of reality, when the reality is that you are in a lot of pain. And I just want to hold you with all my heart, and to send you so much love. And if there's anybody else that is experiencing this or resonating with this is for you as well. So just sending so much love your way. And then, after being a part of the Gay Men's Chorus of Los Angeles, GMCLA, I manifested an apartment in Los Angeles with one of my homeless friends. Um, we found this organization that would help homeless people. Thank you so much, by the way. You guys rock my life. Um, I don't remember the name of it. It was a Pisces lady that I remember. I loved her energy. And she was showing us different places. And she took us to this apartment in Los Angeles. And she took us to a little room in the back. And I felt in my body, this is not it. And her and my friend and even the landlord were like, this is the place. And I was like, nope, this is not the place. And I was being super assertive. Then they took us to apartment instead of room. They took us to apartment number one, that it was just remodel. They did everything nicely in the kitchen, the floors. And when they took us in, I was like, oh my gosh, this is our place. And my friend was like, "Shh," like he wanted to, he wanted me to like bring my energy down to not like trigger them. And I was like, no, this is our place. And even the social worker was like, we need to see first. And I was like, this is our place. We ended up moving there for 2 years. We were rent free. We didn't pay rent for like 2 years. And then, because of the system that they had, we started paying like $15 rent a month or something like that. It was amazing. And then the rock star was no longer homeless, and I was still performing with the Gay Men's Chorus of Los Angeles. Anyways, the the pandemic came, the world shut down. I also, because I didn't want to do a job, I was like, what can I do so I can make money? And I just started moving my hands like this. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm amazing with touch. That's my number one love language. I can give people massages. So I started a freaking massage business. I started making like $1,000 a month, like 500% more than I was. It went from like minus 50 to like a thousand something a month.
Wow.
And I had a full time massage business. And it was such a beautiful experience. I would also do energy work on them. I would channel. Sometimes even their loved ones that were dead would come through, and I would do mediumship, and some of them would start crying, and it was beautiful. Then when that situation happened in 2020 or 2018, it shut down. I lost the business. My body went into like a meltdown, and I was in bed for months. Um, then I was like, okay, I really, really, really need to go deeper with my heart and with myself. So I was also watching porn and doing certain unhealthy behaviors and patterns. I stopped watching porn. I stopped seeing guys. I stopped having sex. I stopped doing everything. And my heart said, I want you to marry me now.
Mm.
I want you. In fact, my heart said, the words my heart used was, I want you to have an alchemical wedding with me.
Oh,
Mm.
wow.
Marry me every day now on. So for 6 months, I started marrying my heart every single day for hours and hours and hours, just connecting with my heart, healing, crying, processing, just taking care of myself in better ways. And then after 6 months, I just felt, okay, it's time to meet somebody. So I was like, oh my gosh, here we go. Oh, I said, I want a Capricorn. I want a brown man. I want a man that is a little shorter than me. I want him to have a dog, to have a car, to love kids, music, to be a writer, to be an athlete. And I just started describing everything that I wanted. Then I watched this lady that I watch sometimes that gives tarot card readings called Baba Jolie on YouTube. And I was reading the reading for Capricorn because I'm a Capricorn too.
Oh, me too.
Oh, sweet. In the Vedic, I'm a Sagittarius, and in the tropical, I'm a Capricorn. So I was like, okay, I want that Capricorn man universe. Then Baba Jolie was like, oh, Capricorn, you're about to meet another Capricorn. And I just felt that it was for me. And everything she started saying, it was resonating so deeply. I was supposed to have a date. That was like on Wednesday. That was on Monday, and on Wednesday I was supposed to have a date with a guy. Then suddenly I went on this app that gay guys meet called what was it called? Scruff. I don't use those anymore, by the way. Um, then when I go there, I see this huge aura and this beautiful brown man. And when I saw him, I was like, oh my gosh, there he is.
Oh,
I just freaking knew it. Then we start talking. I start flirting hardcore with him and sending super sexy, deep voice messages. And it worked. We met that day. We went to like a hike, a park, or something like that. And we have been together ever since. It's been already, it's been already more than 3 years. His name is Devon. By the way, we wrote this book, and he wrote this book. It's our family book. It's called Icarus Finds His Power. 3 months. He's a volleyball coach. He's a writer. He loves music. He makes music. He had a dog called Love, a pit bull.
oh yes.
He had a car. He still does. um, and just his smile, his heart, and he's not perfect. I'm not perfect. None of us are perfect. And it's not about perfect.
Mm.
And this has been the greatest school of my life, this
Mm.
relationship, to be honest, and the greatest catalyst in this season of my life. We were walking one of his nieces in a stroller as we were exercising and jogging. And suddenly we looked at each other and we were like, what if we had kids? And we just started having that conversation, and it was such a beautiful like energy. What we didn't remember in that moment is that the universe is always taking notes.
Mhm.
3 months later, Devan got a call and his mother that his four nephews and nieces were in a horrible situation, and they were looking for family members to
Mhm.
take them and to foster them. So my partner Devan and his mother right away said yes. So we went from not having any kids to 3 months later having four kids.
Wow.
Uh,
Amazing.
you're such a blessing in their lives, I'm sure.
Thank
Mhm.
Yeah.
you so much.
Mutual blessings.
Thank
Oh,
you.
it's awesome.
What I feel and always say is that they chose us because
Mhm.
they came to teach us and they
Yeah.
came to teach me. And for a fact, they have revolutionized our lives. They have taught us and taught me so much. Like they have been and they are my school.
Yeah.
And Devan and I were in this men program, Healing Container, and we were writing these 3 pages every day, every night. And then Devan was like, huh, I want to write a book. So I was like, consider it done. I started messaging people and I said the intention. The next day, I received a message from a friend of ours called David. He connected us with a publisher called O'Leary Publishing. It's an amazing publisher. I recommend it to everybody, by the way. April. I booked an appointment with her, and the next day I was like, Devon, I found you a publisher. And he was like, no, you didn't. And I was like, yes. In fact, we have a call with her on Monday. And he was like, stop lying. And I was like, I'm not. We have a call with her on Monday. And this is the result. Icarus finds his power, the first baby.
Awesome.
This is part of the merch, by the way. We have like
Awesome.
we have more than 100 products and items on the website, thevantaylorauthor.com. Um, then they invited my partner to go speak in Florida, and he was in so much resistance. And I was like, Devan, if before he became an author and started speaking and all this jazz, I was like, Devan, you're gonna be an author, you're gonna be a speaker, and I could just see like seeing to his life potentials, like I do with my clients. And he was like, no, I'm not. And I was like, yes, you are. And then they invited him to a book event called Book Naples, and he didn't want to do it. So I did a three-way shot with April and her other assistants, and I was like, okay, we need to convince him, and we need to make this happen. So we did. Wait, let me rewind the story. Before all of this happened, in a moment that Devan and I were having a really hard time, in fact, like I thought that we were gonna break up. We actually broke up once. Then I came back. Then we were going through very hard situations and patterns again, and I was about to give up. And I started talking to my heart, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know how to do this anymore. I feel like I want to give up. What do I do?" And my heart said, "Make him a son and channel all that pain into unconditional love." And I was like, "Unconditional love? What is that?" So I hired a team. I wrote him a song called "The Coach of My Heart." It's on YouTube and everywhere online. In that song, it was saying how he was gonna be a published author and he was gonna be a speaker, and like that we were going to adopt the kids and travel all over the world with our mission, blah 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 blah. 2 years later, all of that. 3 years later, all of everything that I wrote in the song is happening and more. Um, at one point, we wanted to manifest our own home, and that's where Unify Field and Marla and the other people in that beautiful community come in. And when Sarah messaged me, it right away felt like a yes, like right away. And my brain started making all the stories, and I knew that I was supposed to do that and to join it. I was like, okay, universe, you want me to join that? What I want is a house. And I want a house with a lot of land. I want it to be close to a lake because that's Devon's body of water. And our body of waters is very important for us to be connected to them and even close to them if we're able to, because those bodies of water help us fulfill and embody our missions. Mine is the ocean. Him is lake. So the realtor called us and she was like, I found this place. It's a city called Lake Elsinore. She brought us here and we started looking at from the moment that we came to the door, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the place, Devon. And he was like, wait, let's check it out first. And I was like, no, this is the place. And here we are. I said, I want to be surrounded by horses. They used to have three horses in this house. There's three horses in the house next door, five horses in the house in the back. There's almost an acre of land. There's a lake right over here. I also said, I want us to be in the mountains. We are in the mountains, like we're surrounded by mountains. And it's just so beautiful. And
What
I
side
joined.
are you
What
on?
was it?
What side of the lake are you on? Like the south, north? Are you on the mountain side or the city, Lake
The
Elsinore side?
mountainside.
Ooh, neat.
Uh-huh. On Hayes Avenue.
Oh, yeah.
So we adopted the four kids, published a book. Devon is already writing the sequel. Now we're writing another book together that is about to be published very soon. I'm having clients from all over the world doing activations and coaching and healing, and I'm recording music, and yeah, just so grateful for how things are unfolding and working with my business coach and just being of service. And my heart, my intention, and my desire is to be a vessel to to create new earth on this planet, to create systems that are from our hearts, to support one another, to create community, to change the systems of oppression, and to help people create generational wealth, to heal our traumas, and just become more conscious and aware and embodied human beings. And that's my message. That's me. And thank you so much for having me here.
I love it. I love it.
Beautiful.
I know you channeled already, or we're going to channel an activation for our audience. Does this feel like a good time to share that?
Yeah, would you like me to do that?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
So this morning, as I was connecting with the audience, the templates that want to come through, um, there are a lot of people that watch that are part of this audience that the part of the journey that they're being called is not only into ascension. There's a lot of focus into like transcending and like going outside, and there's a lot of like crown chakra energy. And what I was getting that many people in this audience and probably most of us are being called is not only into ascension, is more into embodiment. Instead of transcending our pain or transcending difficult emotions or going out there, we are being called to ground more into our bodies, into our root chakras, into the earth, into feeling. Instead of there's positive emotions and positive focus, and there's also negative emotions, and we are light and we are darkness. So the template that wants to come through is to help activate a stronger sense of self and help us anchor more our embodiment into ourselves and into the earth, and also that's going to channel into relationships. A lot of There's a lot of patterns of bulldozing and bypassing and suppressing that are being called to look at and to become aware of. So I'm going to channel the energies. I'm going to ask you guys to take a deep breath. I'm going to play my music over here. Oh, hey arandoroso arara yere, ere arandoroko arasa yere. There's a template of like Divine Mother that is coming through, and it's a template that is inviting, especially the females, to embody what I'm getting is like dark matter, to embody the depths of your being, to embody even your womb. I'm seeing it's like the depths of your womb, and even it wants to connect you with Mother Earth. Hikerebosayerendororosiarara, hororokosarara yererendororo. He oh I'm seeing that a lot of women in this audience are like water goddesses, like Lemurian beings, and you are being called, and even there are templates that are coming through to help you and support your embodiment. And even there's a DNA activation that is happening, and it's activating those like Lemurian codes and Lemurian memories in your body and in your system. So if you resonate with that and if you are open to that, just say, yeah, yes. Orosoreara. Many of you are being called into making music. Ororokosa yerere ondosi. Araraye, 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 ara. Oroboku arasi. I'm seeing some of you are being called to write books, and you have been fighting with, oh my gosh, how am I going to manifest the resources? Blah, 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 blah. It's going to happen. You are being provided with the resources. For some reason, this is making me super emotional. Whew. Harabokoro sayere. Orobokiara. There's like a boldness and there's a fire that wants to activate inside of you, because you are being called to share your voice and your medicine. Even I'm seeing like medicine circles with other women, and even to doing like I'm seeing like drumming and using like different it's like shamanic medicine. Harabokorobosa, hiararere, haraye, haraye, horororosi. Some of you are being called to embody is dragon energy. That dragon energy is going to purge the patterns, is going to purge the powerlessness in your body, is even going to purge the timeline where you feel stuck and limited in your way of creating and manifesting these realities. And when you allow that dragon template and dragon energy to come through you are being called to express that suppressed anger and that suppressed rage. And as you do that, you are going to open up space and room in your body. And the result and byproduct of that is going to be that you're going to become a match for those resources, for the money, for the people, for whatever it is that you're calling. Take a deep breath. And just take a moment to really feel into your womb. And it doesn't matter, even if you're a man and you're watching this, we have a womb too. We have an energetic womb. I'm seeing some women that have been having problems with like inconsistent cycles and even some kind of like cancer cells in your ovaries and in your, what is it called? I'm not a doctor. I'm a medical intuitive though. It's called, the word that I'm getting is like fallopian tubes or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a frequency that is alchemizing that right now. Is this dragon fire is coming in with healing. Oh my gosh. I'm seeing even a healing happening in your horse. I don't know what's going on with your horse, Rhonda. I'm seeing like a healing happening in your horse, and even in like, is it a female? I'm seeing like there's something happening in her bones. I don't know if she has like some kind of like arthritis or like there's some
She
kind
has
of like
Lyme
tension.
disease. She has Lyme
Okay.
disease.
What is Lyme disease?
It's a tick-borne disease that affects all parts of the body.
Oh wow. So I can see that she has been in a lot of pain in her body, and there's a healing that is taking place. Oh my gosh. So you can be her point of contact to help her. There's a lot of females that are transmuting a lot of grief. I'm seeing a lot of single mothers, and even some of the mothers, they're still processing like the divorce. Some of you feel very alone. Some of you feel very alone. And you're like, how am I gonna make it? How am I gonna do this? Like, I don't even make enough. Like, your Father, Mother, God, universe is holding you right now, is loving you right now. And as you just open your heart and open your nervous system, and as you take a deep breath, just imagine coins. Imagine provision and resources. Imagine the support. And you're also being called into getting out of your comfort zones and reaching out to those sisters, to those ladies. It's like the word that I'm getting is that you're being called into sisterhood, so you can deeper embody your queendom and activate the queen that is inside of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And this feels complete for now.
Amazing.
Thank you, thank you, thank
Thank you.
Thank you. Amazing.
So powerful.
So powerful.
So deep.
Wow.
It's amazing. I'm going to clip that one for our TikTok, just that whole section, so people can watch it over and over again, and it can go to everyone that needs it. So I'm going to clip that one.
Powerful. Thank you.
Wow. Yeah, I had like full body angel bumps and like crown was tingling. Like,
Yeah,
oh my
still. Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. Still tingling.
So
Yeah.
incredible, Giancarlo.
you. Thank you
Thank
That
you
so
so
much.
much.
is.
Thank you for co-creating this experience with me. We did it together.
That's
My
awesome.
heart feels like
Oh, so beautiful.
So incredible.
thank you,
It's
Lynn. And
amazing.
please let us know in the comments like how this is, if this is okay to ask the audience.
Mm.
Yes.
Let us
Yeah,
know
oh,
in the
absolutely.
comments how this
For sure.
is touching you, resonating with you. Even when I what I do in my life is comment hashtag live if you're live, hashtag replay if you're enjoying this during the replay.
Awesome.
I love that.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And I'll put it out on our TikTok, and I'll also share that out on our page, on our Facebook page, and ended up going live. So you healed that.
Yeah.
So we are live on our Facebook page as well as on our YouTubes and on Giancarlo's YouTube. And you can find all his information. And Giancarlo, let us know before we ask you the 3 questions how we can find you, how somebody who wants to um, find you again can find you.
You can find me online everywhere, Giancarlo Tavarez. On Instagram, you can find me at Giancarlo Tavarez 111, which is my birthday, 111th. That's the name of my cat too. Um, or one of them. I have 3 now. On
Uh,
Facebook, Giancarlo Tavares, TikTok the same. Hashtag live, yay!
yeah. Marla and I were commenting on your name, how it's multicultural, like Giancarlo Tavarez. It sounds like to me like somebody French got together with somebody Portuguese and had a wonderful baby like you,
Is
ancestors.
French, Italian, Spaniard. And the
Oh,
story of
okay.
my name is really cool because my mother wanted to name me Rodolfo like my father. My father was like, hell no. So my father and his sister, Rosaura, my aunt, she was like, I'm gonna grab a book. The first page that it comes out and the first name that we see, that's gonna be his name. So they did like an spontaneous, like they were like basically universe. What's his name? Boop, and it was Giancarlo. That's how they
Oh,
named.
it's a beautiful
I
name.
love it.
It's beautiful. It's
Beautiful.
beautiful. So, do you want me to ask the 3 questions, or Teresa, or do you want to ask the 3? Okay.
Go ahead.
Giancarlo,
Mm.
do you have any favorite crystals that you like to use, or are you a collector, or do you have any that you use in your work?
I love rose quartz
Oh, yeah. I love
because it
it.
always reminded me, ooh, open your heart, open your heart. Ooh,
Mm.
nice,
Yeah.
nice.
I'm sure we all can pick it up from our wherever we are right now. That's a
I
lovely
also
one.
love
Yeah.
tiger's eyes.
Oh,
Mm.
yeah.
So powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
That
fact,
reminds me.
I had a. What were you saying?
No. Go ahead. I just was remembering I have some in my pants.
Oh,
Yeah, I have to get out of the
nice.
wash. I got to get them out of the wash. They're in my pockets. Yeah.
I had a tiger's eye necklace that I travel all the way and that I had in my hands 24/7. as I was traveling from Florida to California, and I was like, please help me get there alive.
It's a great protector stone for sure.
I
Yeah,
And
didn't know that.
yeah,
Wow.
Capricorn,
it's got
if,
psychic
if,
protection.
if you're using red tiger's eye and blue tiger's eye, and then the regular tiger's eye, those are all Capricorn stones. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, now you know
Okay.
why you resonate with it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Wow.
awesome.
Nice.
And the
Wow.
last question, because I
Mhm.
think you have a story around this one. Have you seen a UFO or had extraterrestrial contact or extra dimensional contact? Well, we know you have extra dimensional contact because we were just there with you. But just have you seen a UFO? That's basically what we're trying to ask you.
Since I was a kid in Dominican Republic, like they have been visiting me, and with my physical eyes open on a Wednesday night, I was like 13. I was stargazing because in Dominican Republic you lose power. Se fue la luz. The electric power goes away. So I would stargaze and just pray and just talk to the universe. And suddenly that Wednesday night, I was like, huh, is that an airplane? Like that airplane looks interesting. And then it stopped right up there. It was super high and at the same time it was huge. And it had all these like very unique patterns of like light. And then I started like getting these like telepathic messages, and I was like, "Leave me alone!" And I just ran inside of the house, and I was freaking out. And at the same time, I was fascinated by it because I've always been very connected. As a star seed that I am, I've always been very connected to my star family, and now even more. And yeah, I've had many experiences in New Mexico when I was traveling with friends. We were at this nature area, nature park that we stayed there for a few days, and we had a alien experience.
Mm.
And
Oh,
in the car, when we were going on the way there, I started sun gazing. I know that a lot of people say, "Oh, don't sun gaze." I don't really agree with that. I feel like there's so many light codes and activations that come through looking at the sun. I don't even wear dark glasses. I don't believe in that. And as I was sun gazing, suddenly this huge book appeared on the sun, and it opened, and this green language that I still don't understand, even though I could feel it. This green language started like writing, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And I was like, "Wait a second, like, is this really happening?" And it was really happening, and I had my eyes open, and I feel that it was like some kind of like starseed communication that was alien communication that was. To me, all of us are aliens because we incarnated from different star systems, so
Yes.
we're like aliens having human experiences.
True.
true, true that, true that.
Exactly. I love it.
I love how when people say, "Oh, those experiences aren't real," but you can go and name how old you were, what day it was, and that. So how can that be? I was 13, so that wasn't yesterday, and I know it was a Wednesday. So those things are ingrained in our brain, and it never
Mhm.
changes. Never
Mhm.
changes. It's so
If our
weird.
hearts are beatings and the whole universe is holding itself together and there's stars and just the miracle that is our bodies and the technology that is our bodies, like of course there's aliens and star seeds and everything else.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Please.
Like if you don't believe, you've got a problem. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, if you don't believe that stuff, if you don't believe there's a higher power, if you don't believe there's some consciousness running this whole joint, then I don't know what to believe.
I mean, just look at Mama Ocean, how it holds herself in those ways, and just that synergy, that dance of the waves and the
Mhm.
way the flowers, the trees, the fruits, just nature We need to come back to nature. We need to come back to Mother Earth. We need to come back to our roots, to thrive, to community, to healing through connection, to
Yes.
ourselves, to each
Yeah.
other.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Mm.
Well, it's been wonderful. Thank you, Marla, for bringing such a wonderful guest to us today and
Yeah.
What about
giving
this?
us. Oh,
What
oh
Teresa?
yeah, his song. Yeah,
Oh yes.
Teresa's wanting to know what's your theme song of your life right now.
That is super synchronistic and really cool that you asked me because yesterday when I woke up, let me see if I can play it here. Yesterday when I woke up, I started hearing this song clairaudiently, and it's a song by this artist that found me and that I love his music called Jacob Collier. So what Jacob Collier does is that he makes of the audience a whole choir. And instead of just them on stage performing, everybody's performing. And
Wow.
it's so beautiful. Me and Devon just went to see him in San Diego the other day, and it was such an amazing experience. So Jacob Collier has a song called "The Sun Is in Your Eyes." And yesterday or Friday, when I woke up, from the moment that even before I opened my eyes, I could hear, "The sun is in your eyes. The sun is in your eyes. Na 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 na." I still don't know the lyrics. And then I was in my parts work session with my practitioner, and the whole session I kept hearing the song, and I was just crying and crying and laughing, and it was so beautiful. And that's the song that I'm in love with right now. The sun is in your eyes. That I believe is a cover by Jacob Collier. So that's my song
Oh, beautiful.
Oh,
and all his
wonderful.
music, honestly.
Oh, wonderful.
Love
Please
it.
go check
Yeah.
it out, Jacob Collier.
Yeah.
You're
I
welcome.
posted the link in the Facebook Live, so there it is. But if you go to YouTube, you can find it easily. The sun is in
You
your
share the
eyes.
song?
Yeah.
I said you can. Yeah, I can. Well, I can. I will hear it after. It's in YouTube, so you just can
Yeah,
listen
it's on
to it.
YouTube. It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's
So
so
just
beautiful.
go there. I posted the link in the Facebook comments. So thank you so much, Marla. Last words from you and Giancarlo.
I think I know Giancarlo is just such an inspiration to me. And I feel like, all of his shares with all of his manifestations and how powerful, just knowing like that we can all do that. Like we all have that power. And so to me, um, hearing all of it is just like a little reminder for me. Like right now I'm in my comfort zone. I feel comfortable. I'm happy, but there's something that needs to be pushed out of my comfort zone. Like I need that little nudge. And I feel like he's helping me, like, okay, let's go for my dreams a little bit bigger than what I am. Let's live large. And so I just hope that he can inspire others also to do that because we have so much potential that is untapped that we just either are afraid of stepping outside of our comfort zone or just don't realize how powerful we are. And so that was, yeah, it was just so evident to me that for him to come and share a story with our audience and just how anybody can do this. We all can do this. We all can manifest these amazing lives. And
In your own way. You don't need to do it like
yeah,
I do it. Do it like you
exactly.
do it.
Exactly. And so just, we have the power and um yeah, so I thought he was a super empowering message and yay.
Yay! Thank you. Thank you
Come
so
back
much for
and
today. Yeah, awesome. We'll have you back, especially in those dreary days of winter when we need your bright sunshine to come.
yeah.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you
Thank you.
for having me. And some last words for me that I'm getting, if it's okay to share.
Sure.
So in 2015, I was a volunteer in Orlando with Teals One, and I was helping her with her workshop and just there doing my thing. And in one moment, I was like, Teal, can you share a message to my audience? I didn't even have an audience, just like some people on my Facebook, but I was holding the vision of it. And she was like, there comes a time when the only thing that is separating us from what we want is doing it. So just do it. So that's my message.
Powerful.
Thank you. That's a great way to leave today.
Yes.
Thanks, guys. Remember, next week we're sharing messages and meditations on a special show, and Bex Marie will be here, and Marla, I hope, will be in, and we'll have all sorts of our guest hosts in sharing messages and cards and meditations by Teresa. So please join us then. We had this wonderful healing session, which I said I will clip that for our TikTok and share it on our page as well as our TikTok. So please go there and visit Giancarlo's links in the message. He's got a beautiful link tree there with his merch and all his products and his YouTube. So take care. Thanks a lot, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.